Well, stocks soared on Wall Street today after President Trump paused big parts of his tariff plan.
The Dow rocketed nearly 3,000 points, and the Nasdaq jumped 12% after the announcement. China is still on the hook, and the U.S. is raising those tariffs on China. And overall, the president's pause does not mean the tariff threats are over. Fox's Connor Hansen has more.
After a week of market chaos, President Trump making a major announcement Wednesday, writing on Truth Social that he's raising tariffs on China to 125%. And for countries that have not retaliated, the president has authorized a 90-day pause and a lower 10% tariff, sending an up-and-down market surging for the moment.
I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them. And there'll be fair deals. I just want fair.
Both China and the EU have retaliated with their own tariffs. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says around 75 countries have reached out to negotiate.
Do not retaliate, and you will be rewarded.
It comes after a week of extreme uncertainty. Top business leaders have said the economy could be heading for a recession, and Democrats call tariffs a tax on the American people.
This will have a paralyzing impact on the economy. And if you think that a company or a country is paying the tariff, you're being misled. It is the consumer that ends up paying the cost.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the administration is already holding meetings with Vietnam, a country the U.S. has one of the largest trade deficits with. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
All tariffs are paused and a monster winning day on Wall Street, the largest one-day increase in the history of the market. As you take a look behind me, as traders pounce on a 90-day tariff pause announced by President Trump. The previous Dow record of 2,112 was set after the initial post-COVID sell-off in March of 2020. Today, the Dow closes
Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect, and much respect to the brothers pushing his word in the four winds of the earth. And shalom to you few sincere sisters out there as well. This is Brother Ariyah coming at you with another lesson here. This is Psalms 55 and 18 through 23. He hath delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me. For there were many with me. The Most High shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, Salah, because they have no changes, therefore they fear not the Heavenly Father. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Cast thy burden upon the Lord Yahweh, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. But thou, O Heavenly Father, shalt bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. Okay, so, these tariffs were paused for 90 days. And now all of a sudden, since Trump did that, the stock market all of a sudden skyrockets out of nowhere. Okay, and this is the calm before the storm, if you will, because these tariffs were made to pretty much put us between a rock and a hard place. Us meaning, the Israelites, the ones that are quote unquote less fortunate in this world. Okay, financially, if you will, the less unfortunate, which is pretty much us. And that's who the tariffs were meant to affect in the first place. So now that these tariffs have been paused, okay, that effect that it's supposed to have on us is paused as well. But what's going to happen in 90 days or before the 90 days is up? Something is up, man. Okay, they put 104% tariffs on China, and then China came back and put 84% tariffs on us. Okay, now you got the EU, with retaliatory tariffs against the United States, you know, which is prophesied in the Bible that, you know, the whole world is going to come against America. And this is probably the beginnings of it right here. Because one thing you don't do, and we all know, you don't fuck with a man's money. Okay? But at the end of the day, they're all in cahoots. Okay? People are saying that because he did this thing with the pause of the tariffs, that he put a monkey wrench in, you know, the world government's plans, okay, to take over the world. This is what the people think, not knowing that he's a puppet. Okay? So they all work together as one, for one main goal, which is to rule the world, okay, under one government, man, okay, the New World Order. And a lot of people forget about that, all right? And you can't forget, you know, they're having this rift with China, but China owns over 500,000 acres of land here in the United States, okay? So there's really no rift at all, you know, if you want to be real. Okay, you also got to remember that China and Japan and South Korea have joined an alliance as well. Okay, and you never know, Taiwan might join that. I'm not saying that's in the works or anyone saying anything about that, but it could happen. You know, it could possibly happen. So look here. So let me get let's get Isaiah 54:17. Isaiah 54:17. Now, if you notice, I put that video in there with the stockbrokers because I believe that's exactly what's going to happen. You know, it's skyrocketing now, but soon, you know, when that stock market crashes, it's going to crash real hard. Okay, and you're going to see a lot of stockbrokers falling out of the sky, man. You know. Let's get Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Okay, like I said earlier, those tariffs were meant to make things very much harder on us. It's not going to affect the rich like that. You know, it's going to affect the ones that, you know, live in check to check. You know, those, you know, us that live in, you know, the undesirable neighborhoods. Okay. That's who it's meant to affect at the end of the day. It's not going to affect the rich, you know, those that have, you know, money in their bank accounts or a little extra money in their bank accounts that's able to withstand the heightened prices of many things. It's meant to go against us. Now, just because it's paused for 90 days, something's going to happen, man. Something's going to, I pray it happens, man, but I just feel it, man. Something is going to happen. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. No weapon formed against us will prosper, man. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's nothing to worry about, even though times may get a little bit hard, because they're about to get harder than they are right now. But at the end of the day, these things that the Lord is going to put us through is meant to strengthen us and not weaken us. You know, if these things weaken you, then, you know, it wasn't meant for you to build strength from it at the end of the day. Okay, so it's going to get rough, man. You know, a lot of people are celebrating. You know, people are saying, let Donald Trump cook. Okay, but, yo, something tremendous is going to happen, man. All right, it's not going to be something that's good. Let's get 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, of course. And I'll go here, the 2nd verse. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Okay, we already know the day of the Lord is speaking about the destruction of America when the missiles come over here. Okay, for when they shall say peace and safety, and this is what they're saying right now. Okay, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. Okay, and that sudden, you know, destruction could mean many things. We already know, like I just said, it's the destruction of America. This is what it's talking about. Okay, but I'm using this because, you know, it could be other sorts of destruction that is coming. okay, unawares to the people. People are not really paying attention to things, so that, anything can happen at any time is what my point. This is why I'm bringing this out right here. Okay, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light, and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us sleep. Let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Okay? And that's one of the main points of this ministry, is to watch and be sober, to be a watchman and to warn, okay, of the things that are to come and the things that we see, happening out here in the world, man. For they that sleep in the night and they that be drunken are drunken in the night, okay? So this is what we do, man. We watch and we report, man, at the end of the day, That's what we're set out to do. Let's get Psalms 10:2, and I'll just end it here. Okay, so a lot of people are celebrating right now, not knowing the dangers that are coming, man. All right. Trump means no well to anyone. Okay. Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter, man. Okay. Never trust thine enemy. Never. Let's get Psalms 10:2. Gotta read this. Here it says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and bless the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Heavenly Father. The Most High is not in all of his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. And he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Okay, and this is what a lot of these Edomites, well, all of these Edomites feel inwardly. Okay, that they will never be in adversity, and soon everyone is going to be in adversity, man. Okay, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, and under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Okay, and that's Donald Trump to a T. Okay, all you see him doing is signing, getting on TV, signing these executive orders. But I wonder how many executive orders he's not signing on TV. That's something to think about. The ones that he's signing in the background that he's not bringing to the public, that you got to do some type of research to look up to see, what laws were passed and things of that nature, what executive orders were signed. Okay, he's only doing certain ones in the light. But you best believe this devil is doing signing other executive orders in the dark as well, man, and keeping it from the population. So a lot of people are rallying behind Trump right now. But, Trump is going to bring this place to its destruction at the end of the day, the way he's going, because he's pissing everybody off. Now, like I said earlier, they're all, in cahoots in some way, shape, form, or fashion, okay? But the Heavenly Father controls the hearts of the kings, man. Can't never forget that. So even though we know they're all together, they're all in cahoots, the Lord controls all, man. He controls what comes out of people's mouths. He controls what people do. He controls where people go. He controls all, man. All right? So like I said, man, just keep an eye on this right here. This is something of importance. We'll see what happens and what comes of this. Shalom.